Maybe movies.
What filthy piece of shit did I do now?
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for joining us on this fresh episode of Celebrity Stool Sample Autopsy. Hello! My name is Max, and joining me at the slab today are our regular experts, girth and consistency. So, tell me, gentlemen, what do you think of our clutch of celebrity stools today? Do you think we'll find the coveted Slippy amongst them?
Well, it'll be interesting to see this week. We've got a couple of fine contenders, and I think we should wait and see what they produce for us.
Sorry, I can. Well done. Sorry, I lost it there.
That's going to make in the edit, right?
Oh yeah, of course it is. We'll just start there going, don't laugh, don't corpse. Hello, this is Maybe Movies. I'm Max.
I am Sam.
I'm Chris.
And we are up to our penultimate episode of the month. Up to Act 2 of Anton. I should do that up here, really, shouldn't I? To Anton.
Anton!
And before we go any further, because I will remember this time at the start for once, it is the penultimate episode of the month, which means at the same time as this is going out, our poll will be erected on various social media. So it will be out today on our Twitter feed. It will be on LinkedIn. I'm not listening. It will also be on our Patreon page as well. We'll be running that until the weekend, normally until about midday Saturday. So please have a look back over the month, watch what we've done, have a think about it, and then cast your vote over which of our two theoretical movies you think should be our winner for this month. And then at the beginning of May, we will announce who has done the dirty.
Indeed we will. Indeed we will.
Who's dirty?
Well, I don't know about your circle of friends, but I know one or two. Oh. Anyway.
Right, okay.
What's that you got there?
I think it's safe to say that it is cult approved. It's a Kool-Aid burst. Have some
Kool-Aid.
Oh, yeah!
Have the Kool-Aid, drink the Kool-Aid. Drink the Kool-Aid.
I found a mango smoothie down here, so...
Oh, okay. Are you sure you want to drink that?
I have beer.
Ooh.
I was going to say, it looks like two bottles.
What?
No. Mm.
Oh, you can. It is like two bottles.
You? Kind of.
So you then... Yeah.
That's it. I don't know if that will go back on or not. Probably.
So what flavour is that? Is that raspberry?
Berry blue, so probably, yeah.
Berry blue.
Tastes like raspberry.
Well, you know, Kool-Aid's American, so it's not always what we think it is.
And now we know.
And now we know.
Okay, so before we begin, as always, we're going to do a very quick shout-out.
Of course.
And today's shout-out is for another friend of ours from... What's it called?
Things, stuff and things.
From Slasher.
Ah!
Which, if you don't know, is it's a social media site especially for horror fans. If I can, I'll put a link to it to where it is on the Play Store in the description below. But do check it out if you are a horror lover and looking for a community of like-minded souls. Then do check it out. But this is for Mina Evans. I was going to say Evans. It's Mina Edwards, who is a friend from there, and she's also a content creator. Does reviews of horror movies, a lot of 80s horror movies as well. She seems to be a big fan of 80s horror.
Retro.
Yeah. I haven't seen she has put anything up for about a month or so. So hope everything's okay. And come back soon.
Yes, please do.
Shall we kill some people in a Anton style?
Let's crack on.
Let's do this thing.
I was wondering... Unfortunately, we lose the plant? Or are we going to give Anton a plant? Because of the symbolism of it later on about
Setting down roots.
And that kind of thing.
I would have disposed of the plant.
I was going to say, Anton is literally not that guy.
No, he's not.
He does not lay down roots. He's a tumbleweed, metaphorically speaking.
Yeah, nice.
Plant pun.
Oh, by the way, sorry, one thing before I forget. Currently, I am sitting on 3.
So am I.
Nice.
I was on 3 as well, I believe.
Do we want to replace, the bargaining chip that Matilda uses with Leon about helping him learn to read? Do we want to replace that with helping Anton be a bit less of a sociopath? Just helping him deal with people better than he normally does.
What do you think? What do you think on that one?
I'd make him more of a sociopath.
Yeah, just kind of, rather than freaking people out with his kind of 100-yard stares and things like that, just trying to be a bit more...
What do you think?
I don't know. I mean, I think the coin toss is enough in terms of commitment. And these are the rules that Anton lives by.
True.
I mean, I suppose she could go, I know everybody around here, I know this area, I can show you around. Mm-hmm. As he's obviously not a native. No. Is possibly a way you could play that element in and make it work with Anton's character.
Yeah. Okay.
She could be his guide. You think that works?
Yeah. I believe that could work.
She's helping him blend in better.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is the one thing he does try to stand out. Which from that led me on to something else that I think, again, we just need to know, even if it's just amongst ourselves, which will come in a bit later on. I don't think Anton's not the kind of guy like Leon that he's going to be happy with Tony looking after his money for him. I don't think Tony would have that kind of hold over him.
I will counter with you that Carson pointed out that this is a man who doesn't care anything about money or principles or any of the things that we take for granted.
Yeah, fair enough. So yeah, keep hold of it because I don't need it.
I don't care.
Yeah.
I just don't care.
That's true. Okay.
What about leaving the money to Matilda?
That's later on, sorry. I'm kind of locked ahead of it there.
Sorry, he doesn't care about money.
It would make sense from my point of view.
What, still donate it to Matilda?
What use does he have for it? My thought. That's just my thought. Mm-hmm. But we are jumping ahead here.
Yeah. So we get the next morning exercising. So that's where we would have had the thing about you can't read, but we don't get that. How do you think he's going to react then when she picks up the gun and just fires randomly out the window? Because obviously they have to get up and move then, don't they?
Oh yeah, that's when they officially move.
My point of view would be that would be his first lesson. That wasn't very smart. Now we have to leave.
Yeah.
With force, he's not going to... I don't know, would he handle it like he would just be a gentleman like Leon did? And they're just casually walking down the street?
I can't imagine him being perturbed by all the gunfire. He doesn't seem like that kind of character.
I think, probably just get up, pack up his stuff, completely kind of almost forget about her, walk to the door and just, are you coming? And then just leave and walk out and expect her, either she comes with him or she doesn't.
Yes. So the shot of them walking down the street isn't her holding the plant, it's her struggling to keep up with him as he walks steadily along as he does in his own pace. So she's struggling to keep up with him, sort of thing.
Definitely.
Does that work?
Then we get obviously to the Hotel National. She says she's going to fill in the thing because Leon can't write. But I just think, for some reason, I just want that moment while he's just stood there looking at the clerk and he's talking about stuff. Because again, we won't have the violin case, will we?
I was going to say we have to have something because those instruments he carries are big.
Quite sizable, yeah. So we just translate what the instrument case
mariachi,
is. Yeah, exactly, case. Something like that. Yeah, which will probably be big enough.
Oh, nice call out.
Yes. Oh, fantastic.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, but
on your cap.
Okay.
Just remember to count it next time.
There you go. Just want to say that while he's standing there just staring at the desk clerk, that he just kind of starts talking and just reaches into his pocket for a coin, and she has to stop him.
Yeah. He goes to, and she slaps her hand on the book and goes, "I'll fill this in."
Yeah. Next, we get going to see Tony and getting the rifle.
Yes.
Which again, I'm assuming is going to be the same. Would he? Because I mean, obviously, I know we don't see him use a rifle in No Country for Old Men, but do we think his training is going to be the same as Leon's?
This is kind of a humpy point because I don't think his training is going to be the same. Shigur's method is much more close up than Leon's. Much more close up. Would he use a rifle to teach her the basics? What do you reckon?
Yeah, I would have thought so.
Just the very basics. So we'd get the scene with the rifle on the rooftop, but we wouldn't get any more of that. But, a little bit. But that is basically closely followed by a montage of him training her.
Yes.
And the rest of the training is going to look different.
Of course it is. I mean, I did, for a second, I did question, when they're up on the roof, when they've got the rifle, has he just put live rounds in it? because he doesn't care.
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
Actually assassinating a
Whoever that guy
presidential
is,
candidate.
whoever he is, yeah.
He seemed like a presidential candidate.
Yeah, I don't know, possibly the
Or
mayor
maybe
or
a
something.
senator or something like
Yeah,
that.
why? It was actual bodyguards, and I thought, like, oh, was it people taking the piss? I thought, no, it is actually.
They're actually bodyguards. But I'm just thinking, like, oh yeah, there you go, that's your first one.
Could be someone less, more like a drifter or a nomad, so someone who's not so much like.
So he does, but we do it with
actually is
somebody.
a kill. It won't be.
So some bum who's like bugging people in the park,
Yeah,
and they sort of track him around for a bit as he's.
I mean, it could just be literally some sort of low life person that they kill.
So I suppose that works again for the audience because it's
So,
not like they.
so she does the line, like, she does the sight, and she does the lineup, and she goes, oh, what about the guy in the orange and red? No. Too obvious.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then there's some guy pissing in a bin or something across
Picks
the
a
way
different target for
They
her.
deserve to die. People piss in bins.
in the middle of the day, doing it in front of a load of kids with their mum or something.
Horrendous.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it works for me.
That actually feeds in as well to what you're saying before again about this kind of lived-in world whereby they shoot this guy, nobody bats an eyelid.
Of course not, he's just some dude.
Just some drifter.
Dumpster diving.
Yeah.
That's that. Yeah.
All right, so yeah, that's...
She's made her first kill. Will she be a bit more emotionally?
Of course,
I think
she's going to be traumatised.
Just got to have a moment.
I don't know how we want to show that, but at this point forward, I think we should consider that she's at least a little bit traumatised, a little bit of PTSD.
At least a panning shot of her sitting at the edge of a bed,
Because
like to herself.
I think you're right. It should be a surprise to her that it was actually a live round. She takes the shot thinking it's a paintball.
Oh yeah, the other way round.
So if we
So instead of her going, can we actually use live rounds? When are we going to?
yeah,
She's actually just
she just thinks it's a paintball
because
round.
Anton won't be screwing about.
Well, no, you could even have her go, can't we use a live round? He's like, no, you're using a paintball this time. It's all safe. And then she...
Yeah, I did think as well. Again, when he's kind of talking to her and saying, you line up the shot, take a deep breath. Again, just to see, because he's kind of like testing her as well. Like, picture it's the people who killed your brother, to see what that does to kind of put her in the right mindset.
That could be a good scene.
No, that doesn't work. That's too emotional, isn't it? It's the wrong way. He's dispassionate, isn't he? Sorry, forget all of that. But yes, as you say, then we get the montage of him training, cleaning the guns and all of that kind of thing.
Cleaning the guns will look the same, but the stuff about handling them will be a lot different because his choice of weapons are a lot different.
Of course. So there'll be a bit of the montage where she's got the air canister going, putting holes in the wall.
Yeah.
Where are we? Then we get game.
Dress up.
Yes.
This I have a problem with. I can't see Anton Chigurh getting involved in a game of dress up.
Likewise. I mean, there could be that moment that she does make him do that, but he doesn't participate in an actual charade.
Part of the story is about how Matilda breaks down the boundaries that are going on around her. And again, I know we mentioned last time that if we use it too much, it might get out of hand. But every time he tries to fight her, maybe she threatens to toss a coin. So rather than having to deal with the coin costs, he chooses to engage in the game.
So he can't think of anything. He goes out the room. He comes back in a long coat with dark glasses, and he just goes, Victor, nettoyer. Because he's been to watching Nikita earlier today. That's the only thing he can think
Oh,
of.
the reference,
Yeah, why not? Why not? Since we can. But do you think that works? Like her blackmailing him into into playing the game?
Yeah, I like that, actually. Yeah, I think that can work. And
I'm just thinking we need to show a bit more of her agency, don't we?
what would his impression be? Oh, you're saying the Victor from...
Yeah, that's what it would be. He'd turn up as Jean Renault. That's the only thing that I can think of. I can't think of anything else that you'd... From what we know, what little that we know of him, I can't think of.
Yeah, you're right. That's a tough one, isn't it? I was just thinking someone who's like a famous gangster character, whether that be fiction or non.
Al Capone or something like that.
That's one of the thoughts that was going through my head.
Really?
I don't know if it would work, but it was one of the thoughts I was having.
Oh, that sounds like great lines.
Keep the change, you filthy animal.
Yeah. She still won't get it. It still has the same connotation in the scene.
And that makes it more funny because she doesn't understand the reference. Just like she does in Leon, anyway.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. So that still works.
So are we going to the conclusion that she's in love with Anton?
I don't know. I don't know whether... Because he's all... I don't ever imagine him ever losing that kind of distance that he has from everybody. She can try, but I don't think it's going to work on him. I mean, I know we're not doing the director's cut, so we don't have those extended scenes in there.
Yeah.
But if it's, she's doing this thing where she's constantly trying to wear down his boundaries, and to kind of show her that it's futile, where you might get a moment, and again, it could be in the director's cut of this version of the film, where he does respond, but it's not romantic. It's purely physical, and it's lacking any kind of romanticism at all to show him the ugly side of physical relationships. He doesn't actually go too far, but just enough for her to realise that you're messing with things that you're not old enough to deal with.
Maybe, but I've watched a bit of Mexican and Spanish cinema, and it's very like French cinema. It crosses boundaries. Mm-hmm. And I'm just wondering, like, if this is a representation of the influence moving north, which is kind of what it is, could we make it like the Mexican influence, where there is a quality of, it won't be the same childishness, but that there is maybe something there, because if this was a Mexican movie, that's the sort of thing that would happen.
Mm, true.
I don't know. Maybe I'm reaching too far here. I freely admit that.
I don't know. What do you think?
I never thought it would actually escalate it to being romantic feelings.
No.
So no.
I can't see
No,
it.
that's fair enough.
It's an interesting
I laid it out for a vote.
Yeah, no, it's an interesting point of discussion.
Yeah. So no, it should go the way you guys have been talking about then, definitely.
I don't think we're going to get the plant mister. Well, we haven't got a plant anyway. Where
No,
they're
that's
running
been
around.
scrapped,
Yeah,
isn't it?
that's all.
That's definitely scrapped, yeah.
I mean, maybe what we will see instead is, because again she's quite young, quite impressionable, is her starting to emulate him. When she sees that she can't win him over, she can't break down his boundaries, she starts to become more distant herself.
Yeah, that works for me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So when you get that bit when they go to see Tony and she stood outside. And got the kid trying to
Don't smoke. Yes.
Yeah, got the kid trying to offer her the cigarette. She's just stood there, just staring at him. Do we want to say anything? Because there is that conversation between him and Tony when he's saying, when you first came here, you were in trouble over a woman, all this kind of thing. Do we want to layer anything in there about his past?
I was going to say no.
No?
Just to keep him that way of being mysterious, if that makes sense. If not,
Yeah,
we're no longer we're more of a writer then, if we're adding something to that character.
Yeah, of course.
I just think for simplicities and for movie.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, because Shigeru's allure is about his mystery.
Yes.
Yeah.
So if he does, so Tony says anything, you've always been consistent, in all the time I've known you, you've never missed a shot, missed a beat, and all that kind of thing.
If we added stuff to it, we're more, to blame than the writers of Alien Covenant. So we watched that cinema, didn't we?
We did, yeah.
Before we went to Delirium.
Yes. We're still back in the real world. Again, unfortunately, what he does, this is kind of good because we do lose it again. It's only because of you talking about the director's cut. There's a line from the original where he is watering his plant, and she turns around and says, "You should be watering me if you want me to grow." Again, never thought anything about it before, but when you were talking about the director's cut and all the extra stuff, I was like, okay.
Yep, moving on.
Dodgy.
Yes.
So we have the confession of falling in love, which I think would still happen. Like, Matilda would still
actually say it, declare her feelings.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, declare her feelings, although Shigeru would just ignore her, wouldn't he?
Oh, totally, yeah.
Yeah.
But no emotion, so.
But that would then lead to the moment when she goes down to the hotel lobby.
While he's out taking care of Malky, isn't it? I don't know what his name is. So are we going to say that that's the same when he comes back and they have to leave?
Yes, because it was entirely due to her actions. It's got nothing to do with Shigeru.
Yeah. So they move on, and then we're very quickly to... Not far from the end of the act already. So we're very quickly to going back to grab the money from the house.
And the bunny.
And the bunny, overhearing the cops and the internal affairs, and then tracking Stansfield back to the DEA building.
Yep, and then they move again, which would happen. Is he wounded? Well, again, Shigeru got wounded in No Country for Old Men, so it's not unbelievable that as a good assassin he could still get occasionally hurt. So I think he should still get wounded.
Oh yeah, definitely.
So they kind of downplay that anyway, don't they? So obviously you see him taking the bullet out and things like that, but that's.
Is this we've gone past now with Stanfield going, "I don't have time for your Mickey Mouse bullshit."
Yeah. That's when they're in Matilda's apartment, aren't they?
Yeah, that's when she goes back to get the bunny.
Is it the other DEA agents that say to him, "We believe that you've..."
Yeah, I think they're internal affairs, aren't they? So
that's internal affairs.
So then we get bag of guns and men's room. So this is going to be different because he doesn't have a clutch of pistols for her to take.
Doesn't he?
Oh, we can say that he does. I suppose he might have got some guns to help train her with.
Yeah, because of the movie.
Because of the movie, yeah.
It could be just because of the movie.
Yeah, because movie. All right.
He has stuff around just in case, but he has the weapons that he uses, which are his preferred weapons.
Of course, yeah.
I did wonder when, again, but it might be a bit stretching it a bit too much. When he goes in to go and get her, he's got the air compressor, but he just turns up with it with like the fuzz from a microphone, saying he's here to interview somebody from the DEA. When he goes and speaks to the desk sergeant,
Yeah. Oh, right.
he's speaking to the microphone.
And that's a cool assassin-y way.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
really a nice touch. That is a nice touch.
Should we say gold star?
Yeah, it was a nice touch.
Fantastic.
And you desperately wanted that gold
I
star
did.
earlier on.
And then I'm saying again, so it would just be his MO would be slightly different, but again the same. Walking into the building.
Thump, thump, thump.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then off we go, and that's the end of act, basically.
That is pretty much the end of the act. So yes, here we go. Does it make sense at the end? That's the thing.
Well, at least not that many people were... Well, nobody was killed.
Apart from those who were supposed to be killed.
Well, yes.
Yeah, the goons at the very end when he goes back to the office to get Matilda, he thump, thump, thump and kills the goons, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Mr.
Oh,
Dreads and all those guys.
Oh, yeah.
And of course we've now killed the 2 desk sergeants.
Oh, yes.
That was another thing again. Same thing about this kind of seedy world. It's like when Matilda goes in there and she's talking to him and they're saying, she brought food or whatever, and there's those 2 women walk past and he's like, oh yeah, have a good weekend. Having a look at them and all those little kind of touches,
yeah.
which, yeah, well, I started looking at it slightly differently, so thank you. Brilliant. I don't think we've got anything else then on this one at the moment.
That seems fairly neat as an ending, yeah.
Very nice.
Brilliant, excellent, fantastic, and all of that kind of stuff. We are going to drink the Kool-Aid.
Well, he's going to drink the Kool-Aid. We'll see about it.
You're just going to watch what happens. We are going to take a break. We'll be back on Friday. So, as I say, do please look over the month, have a look at what we've done, and cast your votes up until Saturday. We'll be back on Friday with the final act of Anton. Until then, as always, take care.
As always, guys, TTFN.
Bye, good.
Ba 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 ba.